y'all shopping?
Yeah.
Go Peanut. Go Peanut.
I can't hear you. Tiffany? All right, Tiffany, I'm going to change these handcuffs out, okay? And then I'm going to roll you over and I'm going to sit you up, all right?
So I know I look crazy, but I'm not crazy.
I don't get you look crazy.
Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary. Welcome back to Case Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories and other things that you may later regret knowing, and right now I'm dropping new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. If you want exclusive videos that you can't see anywhere else, along with access to our private Discord server to chat with me and the others, and to see behind the scenes updates and pictures, and of course to be thanked in every video, then please do join the Inner Circle over on Patreon. The link is down below. And thank you to everyone in the Inner Circle. If your name is on screen right now, then you really are a legend. Let's get straight into today's dark case. Tiffanie Lucas was born on October 2nd, 1991. From the outside looking in, Tiffanie seemed to be living an outgoing life centered around her two young sons. Her social media paints a picture of a stereotypical modern family life, with photos that immortalize some fun moments with her boys, Jaden and Maurice. She often referred to the boys as her world, as well as calling them her kings. Tiffany's sons were like many others their age, and according to family and friends, they loved playing sports. The pair warmed the hearts of those around them. Videos of the two show their tight relationship. In one video in particular, the boys are dressed to match, and they could be seen dancing together in shopping aisles. Jaden, the older of the two, joins his mother in cheering his baby brother on as the two of them are repeating, "Go Peanut," in a sing-song way with beaming happy faces. And that is before Peanut, who is but a toddler at the time, falls down on his bottom. The family, though often depicted without a father figure, is always presentable, with Tiffany dressed to impress and her boys well kept. This didn't seem like a struggling single mother at all. On the surface, Tiffany appeared to really have it together, especially when compared to some other young mothers in the Bullitt County area. Tiffany was bubbly and happy, and she showed signs of aspiration and entrepreneurship in her past. It appears that she was really trying to make something for herself. She became a business owner at a young age. Self-employment isn't a path that everyone is brave enough to embark on, but Tiffany had big dreams and she gave it a go. The 25-year-old ambitiously set up Miss Tiff's One Stop. It was a convenience store on Broadway selling snacks, drinks and home-cooked foods, as well as your typical conveniences such as lottery tickets and tobacco. Here she is promoting it on local news.
A lot of people don't make their way down here, but if there's a Walmart, you come out of the woodworks for Walmart. So probably would have brought a lot of people to, stop and check us out.
She clearly had high hopes for the venture and little concern for her growing competition in the area. Tiffany had been interviewed shortly after opening her store, appearing in a segment on the local TV news in 2016, in which she was asked about the new Walmart being opened across the street from her. The young store owner saw it as a positive, believing it would actually bring her more customers. Her optimism, however, was misplaced. As you might expect, the giant brand moving in had the opposite effect. Miss Tiff's One Stop was forced to close around a year later in 2017, something which must have come as a real blow. It may even have been part of the catalyst for what happened next. Around a year after she shut up shop, her police record shows that she pleaded guilty to illicit substance charges, and she had to spend 30 days in jail. Around the time of the charges, Tiffany wasn't doing particularly well. She was already a single mother with one father deceased, and the second no longer in the family home. It seems she sadly turned towards questionable vices as a way of dealing with the obstacles that life was throwing in her way. But perhaps the arrest and short sentence did have an effect on her, because her criminal record shows no further charges between 2018 and 2023. But this is when Tiffanie Lucas would be detained for something far, far worse. On November the 8th, 2023 at 11:07 a.m., the local police had reports of shots fired with injury at a Bullock County residence. Whether the injuries were survivable were not yet known. Most of what authorities could establish came from witnesses. That morning, the husband and wife that lived next door had made an emergency call. They saw Tiffanie leave her property and venture onto their driveway, then laying herself down on the ground. The 911 call audio was later released.
My neighbor just came up to my door and just passed out, and I can't get her to wake up. She's
okay, is she breathing?
She is.
How old is she?
I would say in her early 30s. And now she's screaming that the kids are dying. Stay here.
We hear them reporting that Tiffanie had come to the door and then began freaking out in their yard. Tiffany's screams can be heard in the background. She yells that the kids are dying, at which point the husband neighbor goes to check on the boys, and he finds that she was telling the truth.
Do we know what happened to him?
I have no idea. We just found our neighbor, the woman, their mom, just freaking out in my yard.
Okay, and how old is he?
Oh my God, he's I don't know, he's probably 6. There's blood all over the bed. There's a gun. Oh my God.
Was he shot?
I don't see a gunshot wound. There's 2 of them. They're both here. They're breathing.
Okay, there's 2 children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is she able to tell you what's going on or what happened?
No. Do you know what happened? No, she is shaking. She's on something, freaking out. I don't know. She's just laying here now on her stomach.
The bizarre claims that the mother was making whilst being detained are one thing, but watching the body cam and security footage from that day are perhaps one of the oddest things to emerge from this case. Tiffany's strange behaviour puts into question her mindset when she did what she did. Was it an act of pure evil? Was she not in her right mind? Or was she now trying to put on an act to evade punishment?
Conscious? Is she conscious? Yeah. Ma'am, what's your name? Huh?
Tiffany.
I can't hear you.
Tiffany.
Tiffany?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tiffany, I'm going to change these handcuffs out, okay? And then I'm going to roll you over and I'm going to sit you up, all right? Make it move everything. Got your handcuffs on. Now I'm going to pick your hands up so you can take these off. Do not struggle. Do you understand me? Okay, now I want you to listen to me. I'm going to take this arm. You're going to roll this direction, okay? You're going to sit up at the same time. You understand? 1, 2, 3. Take this leg, fold it in, make that foot touch your knee. No, to the side, on the ground. Now we're going to roll again this way, and I'm going to assist you up on your feet, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Have you taken anything? Have you been drinking? Then why can't you stand up? You just don't feel like it, huh?
I said I don't feel right.
Don't feel right? Okay. I guess we'll put her in my car, and when EMS gets done in there, they can come over and check her out.
She outright tells her neighbours that she did it. She gives the cops her name and she doesn't resist at all. But her actions are bizarre. When officers first arrived on the scene, they were greeted by a silent Tiffany laying face down in the neighbour's driveway. Her hair was messy and her eyes were looking unusual. She is led away with her hands poised behind herself, ready for the cuffs that she rightly deserves. The neighbour explains that this is how he found Tiffanie in the first place, that he had left his house to get in his truck and he saw his neighbour freaking out and collapsed. His wife then began calling 911, initially assuming that Tiffanie herself was in need of medical attention. But after hearing her mention her children, when they go to check, they walk in on an unexpected scene, impossible to comprehend and difficult to stomach. Emergency responders arrived on the scene. There they took 6-year-old Maurice Baker Jr. and 9-year-old Jaden Howard straight to Norton Children's Hospital. The seemingly picture-perfect mother had attacked them both at point-blank range. The police, the paramedics and the neighbours that had to walk into that scene, I'm sure they will never be the same again. Not long after attending Tiffanie's house, Bullitt County Sheriff's Office published a press release to inform residents after hearing the shots. The press release stated 2 males aged 6 and 9 had been taken to Norton Hospital and that a person of interest had been detained. And as we know, the person detained was their own mother, Tiffanie Ann Catherine Lucas, the woman who had only recently uploaded a variety of fun photos depicting her and her boys dressed up for Halloween. These pictures would be used later in her case. They show Tiffanie dressed as Princess Leia, accompanied by her eldest sporting a stormtrooper outfit, and her youngest dressed as Yoda. The post is captioned, "Happy Halloween, may the Force be with you." The mother also took a fun video of the 3 visiting a local Waffle House just the day before this happened. So how could things go this wrong? She was interviewed for around 3 hours by Detective Beale, in which she attested that no one else had been in the home. She says very little in regard to motive, but she does make guilty statements, saying things like, "I'm so stupid" and "I am in a bad spot," which may be the understatement of the century. Among what little the woman did say during her interrogation were a few strange exclamations. She confessed that she must have been manipulated through Wi-Fi signals and the internet, specifically honing in on Facebook. She insisted she would never have done something like that, unless, that is, she was being manipulated. She also rambles a little about violent video games. The clips that would later surface online show her attitude throughout the interview as strange, similarly to when they first found her on a driveway. During questioning, she said that the incident was an accident. She also asks if the boys are okay, which is bizarre when she was the one pulling the trigger. Tiffanie in no way walks anyone through the events of that morning. The mother remained in jail while she awaited her trial with her bond set at $2 million. We do hear cases of mothers just snapping in an overwhelming moment. But in these cases, there is often an existing maltreatment or historical family issues. Other than possible financial issues and her substance misuse, it doesn't really seem like that was the case here. Tiffanie had plenty of support and plenty of family members who doted on the 2 brothers. They would have gladly taken the boys at the drop of a hat. Instead, she took them away from them. This is something that would become very apparent in family statements at her trial. They really did pour their hearts out. Jaden's grandmother, Regina Rowland, spoke first at Tiffany's sentencing, and she didn't hold back.
You know we love Jaden and Maurice. You know Jaden was the only thing we had left. And you took him from us. You know I had already lost his dad. And then my other son. And then you took Jaden. You have ripped our lives apart. And you know that you could have gave them kids to us and we would have took care of them. But you have been selfish. My heart is in pieces.
Tiffanie in her bright orange jumpsuit and cuffs showed no real emotion. Her eyes seemed empty, devoid of feelings. She attested that she had been in no way suffering with her mental health. This ruled out any possibilities of an insanity plea. However, her defense still tried to argue that the woman hadn't been in her right mind. Really, how could she be when the events had unfolded on that fateful day?
The defense, while not excusing Lucas's brutal behavior, for the first time in court showed surveillance video of her mental state and hallucinations from just one day before the murders. She's heard telling a neighbor, "I need you. God is talking to me. I need help."
Her odd, almost shell-shocked demeanour in the body cam footage, and the wild Wi-Fi manipulation claim she shared with the sheriff when detained, are probably conflicting to that, if she was being genuine. But regardless, she was treated as sound of mind. Her defense tried to insist that Tiffanie had suffered from psychosis, and this was caused by a secret opioid addiction. They revealed that Tiffanie believed God was speaking to her directly, and mentioned that the woman had seen scripture written in the bark of a tree. She also stuck with her original social media manipulation story. However, her family didn't seem to believe she was suffering from any mental health issues. It came to light after the shooting when relatives returned to the family home. The house was in disarray. The utilities were off, with long overdue bills mounting up, and there were eviction notices. It seems that Tiffany's life was far from the one depicted on her social media accounts. I mean, would you guess that was the case from these videos?
Are you walking? Are y'all shopping? Yeah. Go Peanut.
Another important detail to note with this case is that Maurice's stepmother, Michelle Rice, had previously made a call to Child Protective Services because she was concerned about the boys living with Tiffanie. However, she felt that her complaint hadn't been taken seriously, and had CPS intervened, the two may still be here today. The family couldn't understand how the woman had gone from trick-or-treating just a week before to doing what she did in their family home. Despite the concerns brewing under the surface regarding Tiffany's capabilities personally, no one had an inkling she would do something like this. The jury sat through the emotional testimonies, photos and footage, and heard the tragic tale from start to finish. Most horrendous for them to sit through was a statement from Chief Deputy Colonel Alex Payne. His testimony revealed to them that when the boys were found by the responding officers, both of them were still alive, despite their wounds being fatally located. Of course, they were rushed off by emergency services, regardless of how hopeless saving them seemed, but each lost their battle shortly after. One can't help but think how terrified the brothers must have been during those last horrifying moments. They would have trusted their mother implicitly, and Tiffanie had broken their trust in the worst imaginable way. One of the boys would have seen what their mother did to their brother, probably knowing it was coming to them too. It really is hard to wrap your head around. Tiffanie put in an open guilty plea, giving the judge full license to sentence her as he saw fit. Judge Rodney Burrs felt little sympathy, giving Tiffanie an unforgiving life sentence for each of her children. While Tiffanie will serve 2 life sentences for the lives that she took away, without giving any real explanation for what she did, the families involved will likely never be able to recover. Be careful out there, and I'll see you soon.